Welcome, everybody, to another Conquest call-in show. We thought we'd give Matt, the hardest working editor in all of the internet, the night off. It's been quite a busy week with fall camp. With spring camp starting, plus with both the men's and women's basketball tournaments. Matt's going to be soaking up some basketball. But I put the bat signal out, and I got my friend here, USCJ. You guys all know him from his own channel here on YouTube. You can reach him at USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. We'll be taking your calls. You know the drill, you guys. We may not be the last, but we were the first to have a call-in show that we just put it out to you guys, the Trojan fans, Trojan family, to come on in, tell us what you think about life, what you think about the program. And we got our first call. Jay, look at that, just popping right up. Let's jump right into it. Good evening. Thank you for calling in. You're on with USCJ and Tim. What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
USCJ, Tim, what's going on? It's Leon from Orlando, Florida.
Leon, how you doing?
What's up, Leon? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brothers. Listen, we've seen a lot of video of the Trojans this week. The guys look really, really good, man. I think Matt needs to give Bennie Wylie a little apology because he has these boys looking like monsters. The offensive line, Elijah Newby, Braylon, what's the defensive end?
Braylon Shelby.
I mean,
Shelby and Fountain looks big too, man. Yeah. Those guys are big.
Shelby and Fountain, yeah, man. I'm really excited from what I've seen on the video. I'm just really excited for the season to get started, man. I can't wait for that LSU game. I think I'm actually looking for tickets to go to that game.
Oh, yeah,
I'll see you at the game then, man.
Yeah, we'll be there. Maybe all of us can meet up. I will tell you this, you guys, if you're calling in, I'm going to go strangle the phone company that I have that does the call queue. You guys won't be able to queue up. I guarantee it's gonna drop calls. So you may have to just call one at a time. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but it's gonna be like that party line. Who can ever dial the fastest is gonna get in. So as soon as one call goes, guys call in, jump in, and we'll get it rolling. But yeah, a lot of the guys, Jay, are looking huge. Absolutely huge.
Man, they're looking huge, and we saw it during the roster update. They gave us a fresh roster update, and man, you saw the offensive linemen. You saw guys like Jamil Muhammad go. So you talked about what, a 10, 15 pound gain in weight, man. And then, I mean, several guys, of course, Braylon Shelby, he gained 20 pounds. And that goes back to, some of the things that all of us been talking about, some as to my man, what's his name again?
Which one?
The caller's name again? The caller that called in.
You still there?
Okay, Leon. Yeah, Leon was saying that everybody was talking about Bennie Wylie. Hey, Tim, you already know on my channel, man. I've been a big time supporter of Bennie Wylie because I knew that it wasn't Bennie Wylie. It was directors that were given to Bennie Wylie, specifically coming from Alex Grinch, and I felt like Bennie Wylie got a raw deal, and as a result, you started hearing this stuff from really it came from Oklahoma fans as well. It came from Oklahoma fans and it kind of trickled down. But I think we got some guys, man, the proof is in the pudding. They always say that. And these guys look big, strong, fast, physical. Even the freshmen that are coming in, you look at Cam Fountain. Cam Fountain, I think, went from 240-something to 256. Marquise Gallegos as well, the safety, he gained 12 pounds. Braylon Conley as well. He actually texted me and told me he's not even on campus. He just got the meal plan and he just kind of following it, as he's, at home, and he comes in June, but he actually gained, I think he texted me, said 9 pounds. So look, the program works, and I think these guys are ready to rock and roll.
They absolutely are. And if you guys are on Twitter, you could have seen, this is courtesy of Rusty, Fight on Rusty, Arrogant Nation on Twitter. But there's just he listed all the guys that gained 10 or more pounds. I'm just gonna go really fast. So you have Maliki Crawford gained 13 pounds. Eric Gentry, right, a guy we've always been trying to just pack some healthy weight onto. He put on another 10 pounds. Sam Green 10 pounds. Quentin Joyner's looking like a beast. I think he's like 220, 216. And with all that speed, if he can keep that speed with that size, he had 16 pounds. Makai Lemon, who came in, kind of flashed in the Holiday Bowl. He packed on another 10 pounds. Dude's looking thick. You know, he was a corner / wide receiver. We always knew about his speed, but now he's putting on some extra size, getting ready for the Big Ten. Jonah Monheim, I was standing next to him. The guy is an absolute monster. He packed on another 10 pounds onto his frame. So I think he's north of 315 or so. I can't remember the exact number. Jamil Muhammad is 15 pounds up. That guy just keeps getting bigger, Jay.
Yeah, that guy, he's pretty thick. He's pretty thick, man. And I like what I saw from him. I mean, as long as he maintains that speed, I think he's the same as Stewart from Michigan. Stewart came from Coastal Carolina, transferred. Him and Jamil Muhammad had the exact same height. Both of them stood at 6'1", 245. But Jamil Muhammad gained that extra weight. He plays on that rush end as well as Michigan at Michigan. So Jamil Muhammad, I think he's kind of a similar type player. Now he's gotten bigger, and now it's going to be straight up go time. And coincidentally, they don't even have that position of rush in anymore. Now it's going to be 2 defensive ends on both sides, according to DeAnton Lynn. That's what he says. So yeah, this is looking special right now. Yeah,
and then Elijah Page, another huge. He's going to be the most likely to project his starting left tackle. Just massive. He after his freshman year, moving to sophomore year, he added another 11 pounds. He was already big when he came in.
Yeah.
Kobe Pepe from St. John Bosco. By the way, like all of our notes, so our interior linemen, right? Our defensive tackles, the 4 guys that they have listed for weights, the average weight for our defensive tackles, 310 pounds, Jay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're getting bigger down the middle. Quentin Joyner's freshman running mate from Texas, Amarian Peterson, plus 15 pounds. He's at 220. And then Jalen Smith, a guy we'll talk about a little bit later, who was singled out by Danton Lynn during one of the scrum conversations after practice. He basically is like a jack of all trades. I mean, Lynn loves versatility, and he was basically saying, hey, look, he could play safety, he could play corner, he could play nickel, and packing on another 10 pounds will make him more valid at that safety position. Devin Tompkins, another workout warrior, packed on another 15 pounds.
He's my sleeper, man. That guy, he has so much athleticism. And, I don't think the former staff, Alex Grinch, I don't think they understood how to tap into his ability, man. I think he has so much potential. And I think this coaching staff is getting ready to really bring it out of guys specifically like him, Elijah Hughes, and a couple other ones, man.
A couple more to go through really quick here. Speaking of Elijah Hughes put on 15 more pounds. Tight end Cade Eldridge, 15 pounds. Bear Alexander, saw him up close and personal. He put on another 13 pounds. So again, like I'm talking about, those guys in the middle there, our interior defensive linemen playing defensive tackle. You're talking on average 310, a little bit north of 310. Anthony Lucas on the outside also put on 10 more pounds, and now they're thinking about him as a defensive lineman, not a defensive end. He's one of those versatile guys. Remember, Lynn said he wants his outside guys to be like inside, his inside guys to be able to move outside. He wants multiple fronts. He wants to have them guessing. There's some twisting going on. I can't wait for this defense to get started. And then another lineman, Amos Talalele. He's the one guy they listed. He actually dropped weight. Rusty wrote in here, and I know why he did. Because sometimes all weight isn't good. Sometimes dead weight. You want to play your optimal weight, and he's down from 355 down to 337.
Yeah, and I think he stands at 6'6". So he was extremely big. And then one more, I don't know if you mentioned Emmanuel Pregnon. He gained a little bit of weight as well. He's looking like a monster right now. I don't know if you've seen those pictures of him and Jahid Abasari, the freshman defensive tackle that came from Minnesota. He was committed to Minnesota. Now USC has him. And that kid looked like he put on, I think he was 264 all the way up to 291. And here's what's important to understand. This was in an 8-week period of time. And these guys put on the weight. And you heard Braylon Shelby talk about all the different meals. He was eating 4 to 5 meals, yogurt parfaits, all kind of waffles and stuff. I mean, he really broke it down as to what he was doing. But these guys really put the work in and able to maintain the speed and athleticism, man. I mean, this is a new team.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I almost forgot one more lineman. Now he's going to be a redshirt freshman, but Tobias Raymond, another tackle. He packed on 14 pounds. So if you look at our offensive linemen, they're all, I don't think they had one. I can't remember who it was, but he was he was the runt of the litter at 297. But all the linemen are 305, 310, 320. Again, up front where it matters, Bennie Wylie is basically making it out of the detractors last year eat their words, because he absolutely has made them a lot bigger across the board. Leon, anything else for me or Jay?
Yeah, one more thing, or maybe two more things. One, I don't hear a lot about Alani Noah. I mean, that guy is at 320 at guard. I mean, I think he's going to be a road grader if he gets an opportunity to get in there and really show his stuff. And the other thing is, seeing all these changes in the defensive line, do you guys still think we need another defensive tackle, nose guard?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you still need maybe one more. But, when you look at Isaiah Rakes, you look at Bear Alexander, and just this new development of these guys, Elijah Hughes is now 291. So I don't know if you guys remember, but Elijah Hughes had a step on him last year that was, unbelievable. He had a quick step. And now that he's picked up that weight, and he's just, 9 pounds away from being 300 pounds, Elijah Hughes can get in there. And then you got Dejan Lafitte. I think he's up to like 315 as well. So you got multiple guys right now that have gained weight. Now the question is, can they put that technique into play? Because if you heard what Braylon Shelby said yesterday, talking about Eric Henderson, he mentioned that Eric Henderson is teaching him things and techniques that he's never, ever saw before. So this is all, these guys are getting brand new stuff, brand new information. And if they can just implement this and really put this stuff into play, I think it's going to be straight up go time with all these guys that we got. I think we got good guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. What Riley did is he put together a staff. He heard all the rumors and all the talk about development, guys not getting developed. Well, he went full board the other way around. He's got guys who either are putting guys yearly into the league or guys that actually coach at the highest level in the league. And we will see the dividends on recruiting and on the field of play. And yeah, you just had Jay just talk about Prangley and at left guard, and they'd probably maybe Alani Noah at right guard.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then you have Monheim in the middle. That the weakness we had was the right side of our offensive line and right at the middle in the interior offensive line. That interior offensive line is about as rock solid, I think, as you're going to get, especially like you said earlier, when those two big guards pin their ear back and they start doing some run blocking. I can't wait to see what kind of devastation they can do up the middle. So it's going to be exciting. Appreciate you calling in, Leon. Thank you so much. You're obviously a very consistent, dedicated caller. Look forward to talking to you next week.
You too, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right, my man. Fight on.
Fight on.
Yeah, great first call, you guys. So that's gonna. Oh, I don't have the number up. Shoot, I guess Leon must have it on speed dial. My bad. I got the Monday show up right now. Hold on a second. So there you guys go. 888. Oh, we got another person that knows the number. 888-997-4539 or 888-99-Riley. Give us a call. Let us know what you think about Bennie Wylie, or what do you think about spring camp and the new team coming in. You got a lucky night. You got me and USCJ here tonight. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller, you there? Oh, we did not have a call. So that means the phone line's open again. Sorry again, those of you guys try to call in. The phone queue will just dump the call, so don't even bother waiting. But we will get calls one at a time coming on in. Hi, caller. You're on with USCJ and Tim. What's your... Sorry, actually, where are you from? Where are you calling from? I'm sorry, one more time.
This is Serb from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Serb, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure you know me.
Absolutely. Yeah, remember, I was giving you a hard time saying, what are you to call in?
Ever.
Yeah, well, listen, make it a good call. No. We got, hey, we got to impress USCJ. Make it a good call, okay?
Hey, USCJ, how you doing?
All right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So I was wondering what you guys wanted to know of what positions of needs we needed to get in the portal for when the spring portal opens. I personally have 3 positions, offensive tackle, wide receiver, and defensive tackle. And there's a couple names that are out there that I think would be perfect. And I was wondering what you guys had anyone in mind.
I don't know. I don't really have anything specific in mind right now, but I think you nailed it. I think offensive defensive tackle, that's what I've been saying, basically since they had their latest additions. Those are some guys we have. And then we know they are looking for a wide receiver. That came out. Dennis Simmons talked about that on, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? Sorry, on Tuesday after practice. So those positions are most likely to be recruited very hard in transfer portal. Jay, what are your thoughts on those positions?
No, I totally agree with those positions. In fact, Lincoln Riley said, our first unit, when he made reference to the offensive line, he said our first unit is pretty good, but he said, you kind of want to have, basically, this is not verbatim, but he said you basically want to have a cushion. So I think offensive tackle is right on. And who do I think? I think, of course, I did a video about Bryant, SMU, big defensive tackle, not defensive, offensive tackle. He's a monster. I did one on him, and then I did one on I just did a video yesterday. I can't even remember the guy I did it on. that shows you how much I do this stuff. But it's a couple of guys I have in mind, and then defensive tackle as well. As far as that's concerned, I'm not sure right now who's on the radar as far as the defensive tackle. There was a guy from Alabama. I think he ended up committing somewhere. But I do think we need maybe one more defensive tackle and another receiver. You guys know that Deuce Robinson and Zach Branch are both doing other sports. So Deuce Robinson's getting limited reps right now. Coincidentally, he was back yesterday, but Zach Branch is there. But that could create a little bit of rust. So maybe get one more in there. And but I think those guys will be good though. But yeah, maybe one more receiver as well.
Absolutely. Did you have anyone in mind for those positions, Serb?
I actually do, yes. So for each position, I was specifically thinking of, for wide receiver, there is a guy by the name of Ricky White III. He's from UNLV. He played with Jaden Maeva. They have a great connection. I've watched his highlights. I've even watched him in person. I think he'd be a great get. He isn't in the portal officially. I truly hope so. He would. Maybe he wants to play with his quarterback. I think that wide receiver would be perfect. For defensive tackle and offensive tackle, for defensive tackle, I was thinking of Dominic Williams.
From TCU. Yeah.
From TCU, yes. He's originally from California, so he has ties there. I notice a lot of guys we get that go to a different path. They're usually from California a lot of the times, and they want to come back home. And for offensive tackle, there's 2 guys. There was Chad Lindbergh from Georgia, and then there was Marcus Bryant, like USCJ said, from SMU. I think
that's the guy I did a video about, Chad, yesterday. And I couldn't even think about it. Man, you're right. Hey, you're dead on, man. You're dead on.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to maybe get Michael Williams. I mean, maybe it's a stretch. He's really good friends with Bear Alexander. Maybe he can put a word in his ear or two, and he can come back home, and he can actually play in a competent defense and, not, play in a competent defense.
It would be great. I mean, very lucky to pull Williams in. And we know that there was some interest because when Treggs was here, right? But not Treggs. Oh God, was it Michael Treggs? No, I'm confusing names up. The tight end. Who's the tight end that went out?
That left?
That went to Ole Miss.
Oh, Michael Trigg.
Trigg.
Michael Trigg.
I'm thinking about the old Cal receiver, Michael Trigg. Trigg. So I mean, if although that connection's not there, he knows the camps, he knows the university. It would be a huge pickup to get some interior size like that. Well, we need size on the defensive tackles, what we need. So I would anyone that could fill that, because it's depth, right? The issues on tackle, we have talent at tackle on offense and defensive tackle. It's just an issue of depth, and they need to get that depth. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a season where guys will get banged up. We're going to need some depth, and I think they need to bring some veteran depth in still. So yeah, absolutely.
No, I totally agree with those picks, man.
I was thinking of one more position, and it's a very young position. I think Lake McCree is the oldest one. I was thinking maybe we should get another tight end. Sure, we have a lot of bodies, but they're all really young. I think most of them are freshmen. I mean, hey, it wouldn't hurt if Michael Trigg did come back. He's a really big guy. He played with USC, and he'd be great in this offense. I mean, maybe that's just me.
We'd love to have him, but I mean, tight end wise, I think we're pretty stacked at tight end. You know, that's a room I'm not too worried about right now.
Because you got to think, you got Walker Lyons. Yeah, you got Walker Lyons coming back from the mission. Of course, you got Cade Outridge. You got
Lake McCree should be back.
Yeah, Lake McCree, and then you got Tyson Tabarachi. So, you know, I think if anything, although he did lose some weight, man, I was kind of shocked to see that Tyson Tabarachi, I think he was at 6'2", 222 when he weighed in this past week, and I was shocked at that because I thought he was up to like 230, 235, I think, and he kind of lost weight. So I kind of wonder what they're gonna do with him, if they may keep him at the tight end position or maybe more of a, you know, H-back, fullback type, because you can use him as a fullback and maybe a spare running back because he played running back in college. I mean, in high school. So, but yeah, to your point, I think the tight end spot is like really loaded right now. There's some young guys, but it's loaded.
Yeah.
He'll be an H-back guy. He won't be an inline tight end for sure.
Right.
They can't use him, you know, not the gadget guy, but just on certain packages and what they need. And he's a hell of an athlete. Like you said, he played running back, so he will fill, you know, a role in this offense. Yeah, great. No, obviously great point. Anything else for us?
Just one more thing. So I was just watching all the spring highlights for when the media throws out videos, and I was noticing how everyone is so engaged. Everyone is focused and engaged, and it's really a big difference of what we've seen in practice so far. Sure, it's only been 2 practices than it was for last year, and it's really made me very hopeful for what the defense can do this year. And I don't know, it's just like a beautiful thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree with you. In fact, I saw Eric Henderson literally on his knees and coaching these guys up, showing them, getting down there to really show them how to hit that bag. And when guys don't do reps right, you can see him just like, hey, look, go back. It's time to get this thing right. So his whole energy is just totally different to me, man. I mean, it brings a whole, it brings a whole different type of atmosphere, rather, you know, at the USC football staff, defense, and everything, man. So I think we're going to see something totally different.
You know, it's ironic here. We got Cat Saylor, which is true. But the funny thing is now he's over there in Wisconsin with Grinch, and you know, they're sailing together, man. There's another way to say it. I think that Tackett's going to be fine. I think Tackett was just put in a position that was just untenable for him. He was a true freshman thrown out there, wasn't ready, you know, and too much was asked of him. The kid's going to have a good career, I'm sure of it. All right, well, listen, Serb, I've been bugging you to call in. You called in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, it was a great call. I hope you call in again very soon.
Thank you, guys. Fight on.
Fight on.
Hey, fight on.
All right, guys, it's that easy. You know, we got Serb called in. It's your turn right now. Open lines, 888-997-4539. You got Jay here to talk to. This is your guys' show. We'll kind of fill in the space, but the goal of the show is for you guys to call in and let us know what you guys think. Really quick before we get this next call, caller, if you can just hold on 1 second really quick, and also if you can turn down your TV real fast. Just if you can no, thank you. Really quickly, guys, take a second. If you're enjoying the show, go ahead and hit that like button for us. We really appreciate everyone being here on a Friday night. USCJ tomorrow is going to have a show at 3 p.m. Is that right, Jay? 3 p.m. Pacific?
3 p.m. Pacific, and then
6 Eastern.
6 Eastern.
And it's going to have you're going to have Rusty fight on Rusty from Arrogant Nation, USCJ, and I talked my way onto the panel, so I'll be going there as well. So
you're invited.
So we'll see you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 3 o'clock on USCJ's channel. But if you could, in the meantime, go hit that like button. And if you guys like the show tonight, make sure you hit that subscribe. We're trying to build our channel as well. Trying to work our way to 6,000, on our way to 10,000. So appreciate all you guys being here. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Gary from Dana Point.
Gary, how you doing? Gary, by the way,
Good,
USCJ, this is my #1 caller. This is Gary. This guy brings it every single week for me. Gary, how you doing?
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing great, and I'm great. Hi, USCJ. Hey, I'm a good friend of John Walker, and
okay.
J-Walk. So,
okay.
Anyway, he speaks highly of you, and I watch him all the time.
Yeah,
so
I talked to him yesterday.
My question. Oh, good. Well, my overall thrust of my question is going to be the importance of spring practice. And I'm going to give you a quote that I know USCJ knows. The guy that's putting on his armor shouldn't boast like the guy who's taking it off. And there's something about spring practice is not normally exactly like the invasion of Normandy, but its importance, I think, is sometimes underestimated. And I'll give you one anecdote to my thrust of my question. My first spring practice, I was a running back. There were 12 running backs. And I took a look at the situation. I thought, hey, I better figure out how to make a move in the spring, or I'm going to be lost in the sauce, as Jay would say, come the fall. And I won't tell you what happened. But here's my thought. How important is it right now for spring practice? Are we going to see the ones really identified and the twos? I mean, or is it going to be essentially a whole new shooting match come the fall? So how important do you think spring practice is, and the significance of it, and what kind of progress do you see happening?
Jay, you want to hit that first?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. And I think more so than ever, I think we're probably going to see the most fierce battles that we've seen in a long time, because at the end of the day, these coaches made it clear, especially Matt Ince. I mean, they all said that everybody's battling out for a position, even all the way up to the quarterback position. Lincoln Riley said Jaden Maiava and Lincoln and Miller Moss are going to battle this thing out. Now, I know that quite a few people think that it's Miller Moss's job already to lose, but I think, when you got your job on the line, and when you got somebody that's just as good, and somebody that's, iron sharpens iron, right? You're going to compete at the highest level. And so I think that we're going to see some guys absolutely knocking people's heads off left and right, because they want to win this job. It's all new coaching staff, especially on the defensive side. I think we could probably feel a little bit more comfortable on the offensive side as far as not being as many battles. We kind of can project that out just a little bit better opposed to the defense. But right now on the defense, it's everybody's playing for their position right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. I mean, there's some really tight competition. I would say the safety room, you might have that one might evolve into evolve into the fall. We got really good news that Zion Branch will be back for fall ball. I think he's gonna be a big player in that room. Linebacker, I expect the linebackers. I mean, everyone's anointing Mascarenas Arnold, just putting the crown on him. Everyone's just saying that that you're going to have Eric Gentry, right? Will maybe Mascarenas Arnold at Mike, and then then maybe have if they pull the nickel off and they could slide Gentry over to Sam, and then have maybe Mason Cobb at Will. I mean, first off, what a great problem to have with all these great inside linebackers. That's what I think. And I do believe they said, it was Lynn that said it after yesterday's practice. He said, you know what? I'm expecting all these guys to be inside backers, and they're going to compete. And whoever picks up the scheme the fastest, right? And whoever gets out there and provides the best opportunity for this team to be successful is going to get it. But they're deep. They're deep at safety. They're deep at linebacker. And Jay and I were actually talking about before the show started about just how tall and how rangy these corners are. The defensive battles are going to be insane.
I mean, crazy,
then we can move over. I know there are a few positions that are set in stone, right? We know Bear's going to be out there. We know Bear, for whatever, it's going to be like 40 reps, whatever it's going to be, 45, 50 years, he's going to be out there. There's certain guys, I'm almost sure of it, that we know will be playing. Do you have a couple of maybe, Jay, you think they're not shoo-ins, but most likely going to be, we can almost penciled them in, but penciled them in a little bit darker than everybody else.
Man, here's the thing. And I said, because I know a lot of players, they watch my channel. I communicate with a lot of them. And I said, to be fair with them, I said I wasn't going to project one. But here's the thing. When you look at the rush, it's no more rush in, so it's defensive end.
Yeah.
You got Jamil Muhammad. You got David Peavy. You got Sam Green. You got Braylon Shelby. You got Cameron Fountain. You got multiple guys. And then on the other side, you got Nate Clifton that came from Vanderbilt. Then you got Elijah Hills. I'm not sure what. So when you look at all these guys, I'm kind of like you. I kind of feel like Bear is kind of the only guarantee. Rakes, apparently he's doing extremely good. But who's to say that we're not to get another defensive tackle? Because if we get, what's his name from SMU? I actually did, from TCU. I did a video from him. The former caller just kind of mentioned him. Is a monster. And so if a guy like him were to come back home, who's to say that he wouldn't start over Rakes? I mean, that guy's dominant. So I just think that, and then the safety room, McKeely Arnold, Jaden Williams. I mean, it's super deep. Yeah. And, I don't know. I don't want to count.
No, I know. I don't want to put you into I don't want to paint you into a corner. I get you. I'm right there with you. I was kind of forced to put out who I think about, but I was very clear when I said, one, this is really early. Two, it wasn't who by the way, when I put out my list, I was very clear to say also, this isn't my list. This is who I think that they are going to start. Right. And so I would just kind of read tea leaves and kind of doing that thing. That's all I was doing. If you ask me who I think should start, I'd be lost. I'd be completely lost in the sauce. I wouldn't know where to begin because I just like the fact they have so much depth that we're having these conversations. I mean, it would be great if we could have Alexander and Rakes just become the next Cody and Patterson. You know what I mean? Because that's what you need. It all starts from the inside up front and then kind of goes out. Gary, I'm sure you'd agree with me. It starts with just that middle and both interiors of our line, as good as the outsides are, and they are good. And those interior lines on both offense and defense have just made a light year jump from last year. And we haven't seen a snap yet. I'm projecting on what I think was going to happen.
And well, think about this real quick, Tim. And you think about what happened in the Holiday Bowl. Okay, you had guys like, and sure, we got all those guys that came in, the transfer guys that came in from Oregon State and UCLA, absolute ballers, big time, all conference guys. But then what do we do with guys like? What do we do with guys? Anthony Beavers, Prophet Brown, guys who just play phenomenal ball in the Louisville game. Do we just exclude them and count them out and say, look, we're going to project these guys right? No, I just think it's going to be a battle because the way Anthony Beavers looked, as physical as he looked, coming out, punching the ball out, man, that's the kind of physical play we want. And right now, Anthony Beavers is looking like 218 pounds. His dad told me, I talked to his dad yesterday. He said, Jay, he's actually like 200. I think they got him listed at 215. I talked to his dad yesterday. He said he's actually 218 pounds. I said, wow. So, and he looks extremely fast right now in the drills. If you notice that, if you looked at the highlights from the other day. So it's several battles like that. You got the Carlos Nicholson, Mississippi State transfer. What do we do with that? Humphreys, what do we do with that? So it's going to be a battle. Prophet Brown, all these guys.
Yeah, don't forget about Covington. All those corners. These guys are like 6'2", 200 pounds. These are big corners you just named off there, and they're going to be physical. And like you said, Beavers, you guys, if you guys forgot already, he's the guy that punched that ball out to seal the deal, to put the nail in the coffin in that Holiday Bowl. So keep in mind that there are players. And then Rajon Davis. Here we're talking about everyone just overlooks Rajon Davis. All this guy's ever done is give me a chance to get on the field and I'm going to kick ass. And he does. He just gets on the field and he kicks ass. So I can't wait to see these linebackers with Entz and Lynn's system just kind of show, and may the best man win, because all these guys are great Trojans and the depth is insane. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I appreciate your analysis. I thank you for that. I'm wondering one last point. Do you think when we have the spring game, when we see the ones that start on offense and the ones that start on defense, is that a little bit of a glimpse into where we're going to be?
Absolutely. And that was kind of my point. After the spring game, I'll be ready to kind of give a more of a projected starters opposed to now before the battles actually began. Right now it's battle mode, and I think tomorrow actually I think they're getting ready to put on pads. They didn't announce it, but I kind of heard that they might be putting on pads tomorrow. So look, these dudes gonna be cracking their heads. So after the spring game, I think that we can all probably give a proper assessment as to who will be the starters.
Yeah, and that's when football starts happening, right? Everyone can look great and big and strong out there, you know, all the muscle in the off season. But once those pads get on, the popping starts, then you're gonna know the guys are gonna, you know, rise to the top, or other guys are gonna, you know, ascend, and some guys are gonna drop. Great as always, Gary. Love when you call in, man.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate the information. Right on.
Hey, take care, Gary.
Jay, I told you we got great calls. I told you we'd get great calls.
Absolutely.
One after another. That opens up a line, you guys. 888-99-RILEY, 888-997-4539. Give Jay a call. Tell him what you think about spring camp. Ask him, got a question for Jay. Again, remember, Jay's got a show tomorrow, 3 p.m. He's going to fight on Rusty from Arrogant Nation. And I will also be on there, and we're gonna be talking about.
I'm gonna have the superstar Tim Prangley, man. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Oh my God, yeah. So it should be fun, you know. And believe me, Rusty. For those of you guys who don't know him, if you're not following his Twitter account, his X account, you got to get in there. The guy's hilarious. He just absolutely roasts Ducks and Irish fans and Oklahoma fans, just, you know, in his sleep almost. Got another call, Jay. Okay, hello. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for joining just on a Friday night. Appreciate you being here with us. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi guys, it's Dave from Iowa.
Dave, how you doing?
How you doing, Dave?
Good. So I'll just get right into it. So I guess a question or two questions / a question, a statement. First thing, how concerned? I understand Jordan Monheim has, you know, he's the most experienced guy in the room on the offensive line. But how concerned is it the fact that he hasn't even played competitive center since he was in youth football, so to speak? And then I understand in terms of weight gain, we got to start somewhere. But like, it kind of feels like we're taking a moral. We're celebrating a moral victory of, you know, 5 guys being over, you know, 310 pounds or whatever the case is, whereas Alabama and Georgia, you know, hey, their goal is, you know, have the entire line average 330, so to speak. So what do you guys take on those two things?
Sorry, what's the first question again? I'm sorry, I was listening to that second part. Dave.
All good, I understand. How concerned are you with the fact that I understand Jonah Monheim is the most experienced guy on the offensive line, but he hasn't played center at a competitive level since youth football?
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be, you know, the plans were for him to play on the inside last year, right? And I think just the lack of development. See, last year's offensive line, I think I talked about this on Monday. When Ethan White didn't make it in from Florida, right? He was projected to be one of our guard starters, and then when we lost Gino Quinones went down early in the season. Those were two really important pieces to this puzzle, and it changed the trajectory of this defense. They just could not get an identity, especially on the right side, like I was talking about. I think the fact that Jonah is a natural inside, that he's not a natural tackle. His measurables won't be that in the pros. But here's what you got to remember: PFF have him like ranked in one of the top 5 offensive tackles nationally.
Yeah, and
so you got to ask him. You said, well, you know, he knows the offense. No one needs to know that offense more than that center, and it's vital to have him making the right line calls. And I'll tell you what, when you're out on the outside and you're blocking, you're sitting there and you have to block these rush ends and these stunning linebacker stuff, and you have to move and get out there and use your feet. He's more of in a phone booth in the middle now, and he's got the size. I say you were talking about a big guy. We've been playing some undersized centers. Well, this is the first time we got a legit 6'6", 6'7" guy that's over 310 pounds playing in the middle there, and he absolutely does know the offense. Jay, any thoughts on it?
No, I totally agree. And you know, Lincoln Riley, I mean, his explanation for that was he's pretty much the most versatile guy that we have. We can put him anywhere on the offensive line. So as a result, you got to kind of put your best guy there, somebody that you could have a strong middle with. So I kind of agree with that. Now, to your other point, what you were asking about us maybe having 5 guys that's maybe over 300. I think we got a starting point right now. I mean, just think of where we were last year. We weren't even close to the point to where we are this year, and multiple guys have gained weight. And I think we got to start somewhere. We're not. I don't think we're gonna get it all in one day or 1 week. But I do think we established something, established a culture, established a work ethic, and I think as a result, we're seeing guys, not only the guys that we had here already, but guys that came in, just like the freshmen that we kind of made reference to. And we do got some 300-pounder guys like Minnesota coming in at 264, now at 291. I really think we need to pay close attention to some of the guys and look at all these guys across the board. And we still got guys like Carlon Jones who's coming in. He's a 300-pounder as well. Big defensive tackle coming from Texas. So we got some things moving. We got some things moving and grooving. And, of course, Makai Siena, I think he's at 291 now. He's in the state of Texas. So we got a couple of pieces. We just have to realize what we have on the roster right now and guys that are coming.
And Jay, who is the most famous person that Eric Henderson has coached?
Hey,
Aaron Donald? Is Aaron Donald 330 pounds, Jay?
No. And, I'm glad. Hey, Tim, that's a great point, because Aaron Donald, he talked about him and Kobe Turner both being around like 280, 290, 6'1".
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, but if you guys paid close attention to some of the drills yesterday for some of the footage, if you notice what Aaron Donald was showing, the little swarm move, I mean, he was showing these guys technique, and these guys need to have technique down. You utilize your technique, use your leverage, and, use your hips right. Where you're lacking an area, one area, it could pick up the slack.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Jay? What do you think, Dave?
I totally understand, see where you guys are coming from. Just want to bring it out there because, hey, I mean, just slightly concerning. Like from both perspectives, from both sides in terms of both questions. I'm just slightly concerned, but I do see where you guys are coming from. And then I was curious if I could ask another question, if possible.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this is your guys' show. No problem.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you. After the first spring practice, we heard Lincoln Riley say that Luke Heward is the quarterback's coach, and Lincoln Riley is taking that step of becoming a head coach in general of the entire organization. Therefore, putting an investment into the defensive meetings and stuff. My curiosity is, do you think head coaches, whether or I guess head coaches that were former actual true coordinators and play callers, do you think that they need to realize, for the betterment of the team and the program, they themselves need to adapt and therefore take control of the entire situation and, in a sense, not be so heavy into their bread and butter and hire a guy that they trust and go from there? I mean, hey, look at it. I mean, Ryan Day kind of pointed out that, hey, even though he was the second offensive mastermind behind Lincoln Riley, to kind of just ease up the brakes and take a look at the entire process over at Ohio State, hire Chip Kelly. Do you see more Lincoln Riley did it, but do you see more coaches that are former coordinators? Do you think in the future they'll start doing that more because they'll realize it'll be beneficial to the entire team as a whole?
I think you're going to see that because you're going to see, as the Big Two emerges, this is just a guess on my part, right? As the Big Two emerges, it's not like they're going to be expanding in NFL, right? So everyone wants to kind of go to the NFL, most coaches, but there's only a finite amount of spots up there. And it's usually basically a who knows who, and they just recycle guys up in the NFL. Then you have these head coaches that are looking at, you can't go back down. You're not going to want to go to a group of 5 school, right? Because one, it's the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten and pretty much everyone else. And let's start with the ACC and the Big 12. It's going to be a huge leap. Then if you start going farther down the rung, we're going to see some coaching salaries probably take some hits. The money's not going to be there for, I don't know. I don't know what the economics going to be, but I do know that I'm sure as hell a lot more scared about playing Ohio State now with Chip Kelly. And I'm not kidding. Chip Kelly gets a lot of crap from me, because he's a Duck and a Bruin, but he gets a lot of crap from me. But the dude can scheme. That's one thing we do know is he's a great coordinator. And although the blur kind of, everyone caught up with that and they changed the rules for it, the guy can coach. And you give a Chip Kelly, do you think Chip Kelly's ever had in college the level of talent he's going to have in that running back room alone, since he was at the heyday of Oregon, it's going to be scary to see, man.
Yeah. I kind of,
Gotcha.
We look at Lincoln Riley, his whole identity is coaching up the quarterbacks. That's just what he's been known for. So I guess when I heard him say that the other day, he's going to kind of relinquish some stuff. It kind of really, I know he wants to, but everybody points to Lincoln Riley as the guy who develops the quarterback. That's what it comes out of all of our mouths, whether it's Jalen Hurts, whether it's Kyler Murray, whether it's Baker Mayfield. And so he's hands-on. In fact, I saw him in practice kind of hands-on doing some stuff with Miller Moss and the other quarterbacks. So I think he's trying to give it up. And I think he did part of that by getting rid of Alex Grinch. I think he really gave up a lot of, especially the defensive side. I believe he gave all that to Deontai Lynn and all those guys. You look at the professionals that he hired, the best of the best at their particular position. So I think he's gave it up to an extent. But because Luke Heward is, he's going to coach up the quarterbacks, and he played quarterback. I think he played at North Carolina, but I think Lincoln Riley is still going to be that play caller. He's very, very, he's into it. You guys see him on the sideline when he gets involved with it. He's creative. Who will replace that?
You know what, Jay? Did you think about this? I thought maybe, so you had Kingsbury there, right? So when Lincoln would need to go off and do whatever, he's go work with, look at a different group or whatever, or he's just doing some game planning, and someone needed to work with the quarterbacks. He had Cliff Kingsbury to do that role, right? And I think what he's trying to do, and he did speak to it a little bit after practice the other day. He basically was saying that, this is just going to free me up time. But you can see in his face, like, the dude he's a quarterback coach. He just is a quarterback coach. It's what he is and what he does, and so he's still going to be heavily involved.
Yeah. And he's a play caller
with Mayava and Moss. So don't worry about that.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? Thank you guys for the time. I really appreciate it. Fight on.
Anytime, Dave. Thank you so much for support. Fight on, man. Yeah. Again, another great call. Thank you, Dave, so much for calling in. That opens up the line again. 888-99-RILEY, 888-997-4539. I see a bunch of your guys out there, Jay. They came here to support you. I can see it. I recognize the names. Appreciate all of you guys being
all
over
the channels
here.
Support each other.
Hey, listen up, caller. Give me 1 second. Can you turn your TV down for me? I'll be right back with you. We got to do a little business here. Gary, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Really, again, your calls, your support of the show, you just being here, man. Really, truly appreciate you. Roy Banuelos, great for the show. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're a big USCJ fan. Thank you for joining us over here as well. Anthony, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate your support and being here tonight. See who else do we got? We had a couple more. Jeff, this has been sitting on the back burner for a while. Jeff Rodriguez, probably one of the greatest financial supporters of all these channels. Jeff, I see you everywhere.
Jeff is solid, man. He's solid as a rock.
I rarely see a comment from Jeff in the chat that I'm like, huh? It's always like, I'll write it down so I can write about later on. Thank you, Jeff, for so many great ideas as well. Just appreciate everyone being here. It's just a great opportunity. I say it every week. This is my favorite show, talking to you guys. This is your show. I had some compromising pictures of Jay, so I got him over here and made him come on to the show. But I really appreciate everyone being here. And like you said, this community, we're trying to build it. We've been building it for a while. Jay and I did some stuff last year. We try to support each other. We appreciate when we see familiar faces in the chat as well. Callers, thank you for waiting. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Gerardo again from downtown LA.
By the way, Jay, Gerardo only calls in when you're here because he doesn't call. I know he's over your channel all the time, but he only called because you're here. Gerardo, go ahead, Gerardo. I'm just kidding, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay. Well, thank you so much. You make my mornings driving to work. So I'm not lost in the sauce.
Hey, thank you, Jay. Thank you.
The first part is, aside from our new coach coming from the Rams, aside from him, who do you guys think is our best coach, whether assistant coach, whether in offense or defense, and why? And then let's talk a little nostalgia. Who do each of you believe is the best assistant coach that we've had, say, going back to the McKay area, whether, in the Pete Carroll era or the Robinson or McKay? Just give it to me. The best assistant coach, in your opinion, that has helped transform USC and made us who we are.
I'm gonna steal from Jay before he says it.
No.
Can I go first?
Go.
I know where you're going. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So in my time, because my dad goes back to the McKay and the Robinson era, right? But in my time, the one guy that helped Pete kick this thing off, and maybe just because he was the biggest room and the voice in the room, just the biggest character, but also just he was the recruiting superstar, right? He's the guy with the Red Bull in one hand, and the phone in the other hand, and it's just a bigger, basically a bigger than life personality. It was Coach Ogeron, right?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
And then if you go back, if I'm going to channel my dad again, he's going to tell me, I'm guessing he's going to go with Marv Goo, almost for the same reasons, right? Just that glue piece, just to be that motivator, but also a good coach. And then maybe if you think a tactician back then, maybe a Craig Fertig, was also a pretty darn good assistant coach. And then John Robinson was right. He was up at Oregon. He came down to USC and then short stay, and then he became the head coach. Correct? If I get that one right.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
So that's historic.
Don't forget Fertig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who do you have, Jay?
Yeah.
Well, listen to old school coaches. Who do you have for an old school coach?
I was gonna say John Robinson too, and then I was gonna go to Ed Orgeron as well. But I mean, I may even go to somebody like Norm Chow, maybe, I don't know. And he was a phenomenal coach. And I guess now I would say Matt Entz, just because of his experience, man. I mean, his experience is second to none. He was a head coach, and you can't, I think they kind of different people alluding to just when he was at the press conference, how he conducted himself like a head coach. And I think that experience alone, yes, Deontay Lynn had UCLA at the number 11 defense overall in the country last year, but he doesn't have that experience as what Matt Entz has. So I would say I would give the edge to Matt Entz right now. And we got some, and this is what's crazy. These coaches are so good. I think it's so close. And even somebody like Eric Henderson, I think he's right there as well. His experience, because he was the run game coordinator with the Rams as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Something I thought of also, go back. I think it was going back a ways. But Mike Riley, the Charger coach, the Oregon State coach, right? He was offensive coordinator at USC as well during was it the early 90s, maybe 90s? I don't know. That's fuzz. Those years were fuzzy for me.
Man, they fuzzy for me because I was I don't want to tell my age, but I was
those were the fun time years for me. I was watching football and I was going to the games, but I don't know how mentally I was into those games. You know what I mean? So the tailgates hit pretty hard back then. And then as far as current coaches for me, I think I'm gonna probably echo you because the way Lynn carries himself, he's just. I mean, you wouldn't think that he's just been a coordinator for 1 year. The guy has just a poise and a presence to him. But I agreed with Entz, what he's done, winning national championships. And although the program was already pretty built up, there's one thing. You're right. There's one thing to build up a program. There's also something to be said about maintaining a program and at a high level. And so Matt Entz, I think done some special stuff, and we'll see what he can do and what he'll bring. Because man, those linebackers are going to be really important. We need to get some serious pressure from those defensive ends and those linebackers in order to make this offense You know, they want to make them. They want to take it to the offense, right? Usually it's the offense, it's the defense reacting to the offense. I think this defense is going to make the offense react to them. And I'm interested to see how well they can do that.
Absolutely.
Gerardo, anything else for us?
Yeah, no. I think you guys named great coaches now. And the most important thing, I think, is that we're beginning again to get coaches that are going to be head coaches in the future. Right. I mean, like you know, somebody you didn't mention, Craig Ferdig, went on to become an Oregon State head coach, you know, and a lot of these guys, you mentioned Wylie, right? So, you know, we can't be afraid of our coaches coming in and being 1, 2, 3 years with us, helping, making us great, and then moving on, you know, become offensive coordinators and becoming head coaches somewhere else. It's that pipeline. So I'm excited. Guys.
Yeah, me
Man,
again.
totally
Too much for taking my call.
Anytime. Appreciate you calling in and sharing your Friday with us. Do appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much, Gerardo. Fight on.
Hey, fight on, Gerardo.
Fight on.
Yeah, another great call, you guys. I think we only have time for maybe one more. Jay, do you have time for one more?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay, well, we'll keep going to you. Listen, Jay's a busy man. He's a very busy man. So we'll keep. I'm having fun. We'll go for a little bit longer, but I got to respect Jay's time. But that we just missed a call. Sorry. Go ahead and call back. But appreciate everyone being here again. Every Friday night, 6 o'clock. Call in. We try to make it as fun as possible. This is your show. We will have some ideas, but like I said, I told Jay, I said, this is easy. We just let all our smart callers call in and do the show for us because you guys bring it every single week. Appreciate you guys so much. Caller, can you hold on 1 second for me? And also, I guess I take this opportunity really quickly. If you guys could just hit that like button for me, it really, truly does help this show to grow. And if you're enjoying the content and you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you know when we're going to go live. And we haven't been doing it lately randomly, but if we do go randomly live, you'll know when we do. Caller, thank you for holding. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I got an 8-inch call.
All right. Well, someone's 5 years old. That opens up another call for you guys. That person's no longer going to be coming back. Anybody else out there want to call in that has above a 3rd grade intelligence level? Please give us a call. We're here with USCJ. Again, USCJ tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll have the one, the only, the infamous Rusty.
Superstar Tim.
and me. We'll be there at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Well, that would be a horrible way to end the show. I hope someone can give us one more call.
Come on, give us one more. Give us one more.
Any final thoughts, Jay? Just in case we do have we can get some questions actually. Oh, actually, my bad. We also have a super chat. Super chat from Roy. Looking up. Yeah, everything's looking up, man. Prayers and everything's just looking for your son to get 100% healthy, come back and maul. I've been calling him the mauler from day one, even when he's in high school. I can't wait to see Micah get healthy, get out there. These guards at this interior offensive line, which I believe that your son's going to be a big part of going forward, is going to be fun for Trojan fans to watch for the next couple of years. Thank you for always being here and supporting. Really appreciate everything you do. Again, the first time I saw Roy was over on your channel. Jay.
Roy. Hey, Roy's like family, man. He is absolute family. He knows it.
Absolutely. And then let's see. We had some comments. Let's hit a couple questions and then maybe let's get out of here because it looks like our calls have run out. Let's see. Saw one. Roger is asking, Sam Green still around? Absolutely, still around.
Yeah, he gained some weight as well. If you guys remember, he kind of got down to about 235. I think he's up to 250 now. So he gained all kind of weight.
Mm-hmm. And then do you see USC running the ball more this year? Again, absolutely. And by the way, Susan Pace, we had your call earlier. You're not going to quite make our level of our show. We need you to call in with a 3rd grade level or higher. That was our last call, Jay, calling back. So we're just going to dump that one. we are going to run the ball. Jay, what are your thoughts on a run game, man? Talk about our running back room. Let's brag about them a little bit.
I think we're gonna run the ball, and we got, of course, you guys know we got Jarquavius Marks for Mississippi State, who's like all-time leader of the SEC as far as receptions. This guy, he's a very versatile back, a complete back. So I think he's gonna be one of those guys to lead the way. But you guys know that Quentin Joyner, monster, Marion Peterson. But I'm very, very, very excited. I kind of label this guy the next Lindell White. He was actually 240, I think, and now he's at 229, looking slim. Brian Jackson out of McKinney, Texas. That guy has some wiggle room. I mean, he has some wiggle in him, man. When he runs that ball, his lateral movement side to side is unbelievable. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's gonna start, but I'm saying do not sleep on him. I think he's a guy that can absolutely get in there. And I can guarantee you Lincoln Riley wants to put him in, but I'm excited about the running back room. Some think we need more. We got 4. I say we're fine, just given the fact that what happened with Darwin Barlow last year. That absolutely just, that was crazy. We only really used 2 backs, really, for the most part, Marshawn Lloyd and Austin Jones. So Marion Peterson and Quinn Joyner and Darwin Barlow just kind of sat there, and Matt Colombo as well. So I think we good, man, as far as the running back room.
Oh, I mean, Jaquavius Marks, Woody Mark, he's going to be, you guys, if you don't know, he is like 5th all time in receptions in the SEC. Talk about a guy coming out of the backfield with soft hands. That guy is going to get a lot of receptions. Good burst. And then, I mean, I've been excited to see Quentin Joyner for a long time. I'm not playing favorites. I know Marion Peterson, both those guys. Did you see how big Brian Jackson looks? We knew he was a big back, but that kid is just,
he's yoked.
He's gonna hurt people. He's gonna run. He's gonna run like angry run. I can't wait to see them unleash him on the Big Ten. Caller, thank you for calling in. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mark. I'm calling from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Mark, thank you for calling in. How are you doing?
What's up, Mark?
I'm doing great. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I enjoy you guys, what you're doing. I'm glad that you guys are knowledgeable, giving us information. Just keep it going. Appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Oh, appreciate you,
man,
too.
Appreciate you, man.
Are you excited about the season? This defensive coaching setup we have going here at USC now?
Yes, I am. My only concern is, sometimes you have a lot of chiefs. If they can fall in line. The old saying, chiefs and Indians. But that's kind of my only concern. It seems like they're kind of working that out. But I kind of want to address some of the things that I hear. I understand, fandom, and I'm a fan myself, but I played college football, and I hear some of the things, the pessimistic stuff that comes out there, and I kind of don't really understand where they're coming from. But I think that sometimes we get derailed from the actual facts. It's just like, with all due respect, I think the caller that called in and, he asked questions about the center position, this, that, and the other. Those are great questions, but they don't realize that, okay, Jonah Monheim is projected in the NFL as an inside offensive lineman.
Right.
It would behoove him to play center.
Right.
If he wants to play on the next level. I think that sometimes we just get lost in the sauce, as you say, Jay.
Yeah.
And we don't really kind of think things through. It's just even, as when we talk about like depth or offensive line or Bennie Wylie or this or that, people just jump to conclusions.
Right.
Now, I do have a concern on the weight. The technique is the most important thing, and the power. Now, you're just not going to go into 300 pounds in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 8 weeks or so like that. But I don't want to get so caught up in gaining weight that we're not gaining strength. And I understand, as you do, Jay, you lift weights. You have to put on some weight to gain strength, to gain power and explosion. So I just want to wonder where you guys are seeing that, and if that has been noticed, or the athleticism, has it increased, or what is your take on that regarding, especially the defensive and offensive interiors, the O-line and D-line?
Man, I totally agree that they're putting on. I'm kind of been looking at Bennie Wylie. One day is lifting and another day is plyometrics. They're still doing the speed work. They're still doing all of the endurance work. And so it's like right now it's a good, and as you gain the weight, you got to constantly continue to be flexible, and you got to consistently do speed work so you can maintain that speed, and so you can maintain get used to running with that weight on. So as a result, I think these guys are doing it right. That's why I could never understand why it was so much hate with the Bennie Wylie thing, because I understood different stuff that he was implementing. He was implementing things that were like different phases and different levels. You start here and then you kind of work your way up and you build up to it. And so now these guys are getting used to, because it was like an 8-week program, and all of them talked about how, 8 weeks they gained this weight. But then while they gaining this weight, I'm watching them do all this different stuff on Bennie Wylie's page. So I think everything right now is being implemented, and is the same way Deontay Lynn said that he's going to put everything in slow. I think they did that slow, and was able to move and groove with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I can't add anything to that. That's exactly it, Jay.
Yeah, and I guess two quick other points if I can. Looking at the games last year, and kind of like when Mark joked, the untrained eye. Even though I feel it's kind of wise, kind of trained because I played the sport. But what I would notice is, and especially, I don't want to bag on Tackett Curtis, he's a freshman, but a lot of times when the snap was imminent, and what I mean by imminent, when the snap was about to occur, he was already at the line of scrimmage. His focus was like, I'm going through the B gap. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
So the defensive tackle, the guy just left, Solomon or whatever, most of the times he gets washed down because most teams are zoning. He gets washed down, and so basically you get an offensive lineman that gets what we call a 2-for-1. So he looks like a fantastic blocker because of the scheme. So the tackle is picking himself out, and he simultaneously takes out the backer because the backer's running through the gap and not paying attention to what's happening with the flow. So I'm concerned, and I'm hopeful that we're, like you alluded to, that we're getting those techniques finally and understanding. It's nice to make that wow play and, ooh, I made a tackle in the backfield 6 yards deep and the crowd going crazy in the Coliseum. But I want to control the offensive line of scrimmage and the defensive line of scrimmage.
Right.
And I'm just hopeful that those things are being progressed and worked on. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Man, I totally agree. I think he was over pursuing a lot, and that's not to take away from his athletic ability. He's a great athlete, but the linebacker position, you kind of have to see. You have to see, kind of stay home. Sometimes you have to see who's pulling. You have to see if you may have to drop back in coverage, and it looked like it was just straight up go time all the time, and as a result, guys literally ran right by him. And so I think that's more so to the coaching. These guys weren't being coached up the right way, because when you constantly do it over and over again, because I saw that on numerous occasions, and when he made a good play, he made a good play, but that just kind of lets you know that guys like Eric Gentry, Rajon Davis, guys that are familiar already, because they didn't make those type of mistakes. Matter of fact, I think I won the PFF grade. I can't remember who the highest was. I'm not gonna put no names out there, but I just think that guys like Eric Gentry should have been in there, who was able to kind of have an idea and kind of let Tackett get back there and kind of look and see how you play the position, how you read, how you drop back in coverage, how you pursue, when you spot. Playing favors type deal, and it wasn't even making any sense as to why he was starting sometime. I mean, the whole thing looked crazy. So I'm glad it's all done. I think we're gonna have a new situation, and we're gonna have guys that's absolutely coached up.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can add to both of you guys says it's going to be refreshing to see well coached linebackers, where you were alluding to it, that the linebackers just seemed like they got sucked in and they caught up in the trash and just taken out of play on so many occasions last year. It was painful to watch all those explosive runs that we would see just bouncing out to the outside and nobody there to stop them. So I think those days are probably going to be over, Mark.
And let me say, I think Tackett Curtis is going to be a great player. I really do.
Agreed. Yeah. People got to get off his case.
Yeah.
He's a freshman. He walked into that mess last year. That is not on Tackett Curtis.
He played like a hybrid type safety type situation when he was in that small school. So to try to come in and learn on a big time level, I think the game was a little fast for him in the beginning. You kind of see that. I think he was like, wow, you know, these are some real athletes. Everybody's like a Tackett Curtis, you know, if not more.
Yeah.
Correct. And I never wanted to feel that I was, you know, like singling him out or bagging, but I think he was just doing what he was told.
Right.
And half the time, you know, doing what he was told, he was washing himself out of the play. But it was incongruent with what was going on defensively, schematically on the defensive line as well. So I'm just really happy to see that. And one quick last question: where are we at? I know that I understand the philosophy with the special teams, but is there any competition or anything going on with our place kicking, especially the kickoffs and PATs and field goals? That is my concern. I think we still have the punter back, the Picky or so.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah. And you got Robles. You got Robles coming in. That dude's got a big leg.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if he was not. That's what he's known for, is I believe knocking balls into the back of the end zone. So that's one way to neutralize a team's ability to return the ball. You can start them on their 25-yard line every time. We know it at clockwork. And they kicked 3 balls out of bounds last year. You know, right. It's unexcusable. And then, you know, Dennis had his struggles kicking field goals. He was just he was missing those short to intermediate kicks. He boomed that 54-yarder or 53-yarder, but then he missed some like 25-yard chip shots. So I talked about it on a different show, and I even wrote about it. The fact is there's going to be less possessions in the Big Ten. Points are going to be at a much more premium in the Big Ten. Each one of your possessions is going to matter. If you stall out at the 40-yard line and you can't get any points, you have to go for it on 4th and 9 or 4th and 12 from their 35-yard line or whatever, instead of kicking a field goal. That might be the recipe for disaster, Jay.
Yeah, that kicking out of bounds stuff, man, that's not going to get it done. But we also got another commitment from a 2024 class. I can't remember his name. I do videos on all these guys, but I can't. But he was actually the number 2 kicker overall, but he kicked 60-yard field goals. And the guy, I can't remember. He had I can't remember how many touchbacks he had in the game, but this guy's he's an outstanding kicker. I need to pull his name up. I'm trying to remember his name.
But I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I remember you doing that. Right.
Yeah. So he's a phenomenal kicker. So you got Tyler Robles as well as him. And so it's going to be a battle for that as well, because you got now you got 3 or 4 guys that are great kickers.
It's Ryan Sari.
Yeah, Ryan Sari. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I think that is Christian Vino over 247. Always shows about. It's not a joke. 6-star kicker.
Yeah,
that's not a joke. That's with Chris Saylor, I think, is kicking school.
Quick Saylor's kicking. Yeah, but he only kick. Chris Saylor does specifically. That's why I saw him at. He does specifically for kickers, but he's like the number 2 kicker overall in the country.
Yeah, he's an elite kicker from that camp. You know he's going to be damn good, and it's about time. If you're not going to have a dedicated special teams coordinator, which again, Mark talked about on Monday, more and more coaches are going away from it. You don't want to spend one of your positions dedicated just to special teams. A good way to mitigate that is having a 6-star kicker and an all Pac-12 punter. That way you cover yourself on both bases. And you have a Zachariah Branch back there returning it. He's going to be helping out the return game. So I would like, though, this is one thing I've had a pet peeve of mine for quite a while. We need to start setting up the punts. I mean, it just seems like they're missing the blood. Nothing's being set up, for the punter. The punter's just getting hit right away. I'd like to see Zachariah to catch a clean ball and have a chance to make one move and go instead of having just being swarmed as soon as he gets the ball.
No, I totally agree. It doesn't seem like the blocking is there, but hopefully they get it going.
All right, Mark. We can't keep Jay up all night. He's got people to see, things to do. He's got to get up and get out and get something done. Make it happen.
Yeah. Friday night, man. I can't blame him. And then the Lakers are about to play here in a second, so I got to get in and watch that. But hey, I just want to say I appreciate what you guys do, man. Keep it going, fight on. You guys are fantastic. Keeps me going on nights, man. Something I can hear some USC football and some some knowledgeable stuff, and it just I appreciate what you guys do, man. Keep it going.
Thank you so much,
Mark. Appreciate you, man. You fight on.
Yeah,
you too. Fight on, man. Have a good one.
You too. There's a lot of great content out there. You guys make sure you check it out. Our buddies over at Light the Torch, they're doing a great job every week getting content out there. We have the Trojan Blade. Gabe's putting out content all the time. You name it. The USC, when I was younger and I wanted to get USC content, I was like listening to Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, and then maybe he talked for like 2 minutes on the Mighty 690. That's all I could get, or I'd pull up
or John Jackson, our man JJ.
Yeah, he's covered. And then but you'd also have the situation where maybe you get into the Press Telegram and you'd have like maybe 2 paragraphs. The LA Times would be telling us that the Bruins were in control. Yeah. Now you guys, these days, you got a bunch of us out there, make sure you're supporting all of the community. There's great content on all the channels. Again, we appreciate you all being here on your Saturday night. I have a couple of things really quick we want to hit, and we don't really have time for it, but Jay sent this out. Let me get rid of this really quick. Hold on. Jay put this out, about this is a really good tweet that he put out just regarding, if you want to talk about, quarterbacks, 19, and it's good. Is it including Caleb or no?
Yeah, I think so, because PFF just put that out today. So yeah, absolutely.
So and there's no doubt when it comes to just skill positions and offense. I mean, I get tired when they don't give us USC their props for offensive linemen. Tyron Smith's just getting ready to retire, right? Or is he being traded? I saw something about him departing from the Cowboys. To the Jets.
Did I see him? I think he went to. I thought I saw he went to the Jets.
I mean, I hope he's hopefully going to be our sixth. He's going to be our sixth jacket in the NFL Hall of Fame. That guy. USC just cranks out. We have probably more Hall of Fame offensive linemen than most schools even have NFL Hall of Fame members. So. Caller, hang on 1 second. We got to make it quick because I got to get Jay out of here. We're 15 minutes past the hour. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Let's make it real fast.
This is Brian calling in from Birmingham.
Brian from Birmingham? You got
Brian, what's up, man? What's up, Brian?
What's going on, USCJ?
Not much, man.
Hey, I just got one quick thing. I like the addition to the defense, the coaches, the transfers that we got. My one possible concern will possibly be the transfers, the length and the size that we got in from the UCLA and Mississippi State, I believe.
Yeah.
Coming in and possibly fitting the mold more so of the defensive staff and the guys that played in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Not really being given a chance because they don't fit that type of scheme that we're going to run, or they don't fit the metrics, and then possibly hitting the portal right after the spring game. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I ain't gonna lie, Brian. I mean,
you guys like your Prophet Brown, Anthony Beavers, your Beers, your Jacoby Covington. They don't have that length that those guys have from the Mississippi State and from the UCLA on the outside. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Covington's not a small guy.
Yeah.
He's got some length out there.
Covington's 6'2". Now, Beavers is at 6'1", and I wonder, even guys like Antoine Figgins, he already came over. I'm kind of, I do kind of wonder, but I do think it's going to be a fair battle. But I do wonder if those guys were to win the battles, what would happen? I don't even want to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that everybody's, and I'm not going to try to be selfish about it. Everybody's a team player. I just hope that everybody gives their all to where they know that they didn't win the battle. I'm just saying, whoever wins the battle, I hope they all are good team sports about it. That's kind of my thought process on it, and that everybody stays, because championship teams always have not only not a 1 and 2, but a 1A and a 1B. So if they look at it from that perspective, right. I'm hoping that that's the route it goes, because at the end of the day, everybody can't hit the portal. Everybody's not going to win. I mean, if you go to the NFL, you're going to have competition. You might win, you might not. So, hopefully everybody knows. Everybody's going to put their best foot forward as far as that. And I think the coaches are open. I trust what they're saying. And so with that being said, I think that the best man is going to win.
And here's something. So when I put out who I thought just is ridiculously too early, kind of even stupid, trying to predict who's going to be the starters, I had to put, Kamari Ramsey in there. Why? Because he's familiar with the scheme,
Yeah.
and Lynn's going to be familiar with him, And so when you talk about corner, you're probably going to have a situation where you have John Humphreys, right? Gonna just have that initial. I just think there has to be some, and both guys are physical. Both guys are long, and they play the way that Lynn keeps talking about how he sees his secondary. So they're going to have the inside track. But like you said, what does Beavers do? He gets the opportunity in that game, comes in, makes a play, right? We talked about it earlier with Rajon. Rajon comes in, gets an opportunity, he makes a play.
Right.
I mean, that's what these guys keep doing, and they keep grinding. And you have to, you Trojans out there, these guys have been Trojans, and you. But at the same time, this day and age, you can't be xenophobic. You can't say, well, no, we have our Trojans and they're our favorites. At the same time, you can't be like a lot of the fans, the shiny new toy. Because look at the guys that are being talked about. All the shiny new toys. The dudes have been, on Brian Kennedy Field, blood, sweat, and tears for the last couple of years. They get forgotten. Ooh, we got this guy from where? It's all about the new model rolling onto the lot. You know what I mean? And so there's got to be a balance between the two.
It has to. And you just hope the best man. You just hope the best man win. And we kind of saw that. We brought way back when we brought guys like Jordan Addison. I'm not saying that we didn't need Jordan Addison. I think he was a phenomenal player. But I always felt like we already had guys that can play. And I didn't think that was a position that we were just dying of, you know what I mean? Because you had Gary Bryant, you had Kyle Ford, you had Michael Jackson, who never really got utilized. You had Taj Washington, who's we call him most reliable, most consistent. So you don't want the guys that are already there. And we saw that this past couple of years get pushed out by already ideas in someone's mind. You want a fair battle. So hopefully, don't think I'm saying that Jordan Addison wasn't good. Please don't get my words twisted.
You didn't say that. I heard you loud and clear.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. I just saw how physical they were in the bowl game. Like I said, the Prophet Browns, the Anthony Beavers, and Jacoby Covington. There, I know he got hurt somewhat during the season and kind of like lost his spot. But a lot of times, you're right. We do get caught up in the names.
Yeah.
Forget about the guys who had been there from day one grinding, like the Christian Pierce. I think he got hurt during the season.
Yeah.
But he was a tough safety. And of course, Diane Branch, he was coming along and then he got hurt. So I just wonder what will happen. I know this upcoming season with the transition over to the Big Ten, I looked at the schedule. That's going to be a punishing, season. It's going to be real taxing, and we're going to need that depth. If we can get the type of depth like we had, in addition to the bowl game and get that physical play out of that secondary, I think the defensive line, we got enough, beef up front now, and enough, now that we got the coaches, I think the defensive line and the linebackers are going to have themselves. Our main issue was the secondary last year. I think a lot of times some guys may have been promised playing time because they were a 5-star and the coaches held to it, but it kind of hurt us in the long run. In addition to the scheme that we were running and the size of our players. So I'm happy about, the additions from the coaching staff. I'm happy about the guys that's coming over the transfer portal. I just want our defense to be physical. That's all, and give the offense a chance to really, go out and just sustain the win versus trying to outscore anybody.
Absolutely.
No, Brian, you're right. You're right. Is this Brian Jenkins?
Yeah, that's me, man.
Oh, okay. I know you said Birmingham. I know you from Birmingham. I didn't know if this was Yeah, man. Hey, Brian, you right on, man. You hit the nail on the head, man. I couldn't have said it better, man.
Yep.
Right.
Fully agreed. Again, Jay, I told you. See how easy this is? You just have the smart people call in, and I can sit here, and have some sips, listen to you talk. This is the easiest way to run a show. Oh, just kidding. Hey, Brian, appreciate you calling in. Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Hope you're
All right,
calling
Brian.
in.
Thank you.
Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on.
And speaking of their channels, you got Brandon here. You guys make sure you check it out. Light the Torch podcast. And everyone out there, do make sure you check out the community. All right, listen, Jay would say you're all night, but we're not going to do that to him. We are going to respect his time. We're going to get him out of here. Gerardo chiming in. Absolutely. Tomorrow, USC women, you guys get out there to Galen. The first 2 games are going to be at Galen on Saturday and on Monday. Support the Lady Trojans as they make their run in the NCAA championship. Some sad news for me and a lot of you guys, if you guys follow the basketball program, but looks like we're losing Kobe Johnson. He's going to be looking at maybe testing the waters of the NBA draft. If not, if he does come back, he will no longer be a Trojan. This guy's been my favorite Trojan I mean, gotta love Boogie, but this guy has just been something special. He's going to be getting out of there, and wish him all the best. Guy is just one of the best defenders I've ever seen. I was talking to Jay. I said he didn't have the hops, but he reminded me of Jeff Trepanier. And you guys that are any old school SC basketball fans, that's what he truly reminded me. Just tenacious defense and really quick hands. Just amazing to watch. And then someone talked about when is Zachariah's first, where was that? Let's see. When's his first track meet? That's Saturday, you guys. Zachariah. And look, you guys, the track program at USC Football gets all the love. You guys got to remember that, USC track has 31 national championships, 26 outdoor titles. It's no joke, Olympians, you name it. USC track and field's great. So go on and get on out there to SC and watch the festivities. You can even catch Zachariah Branch running. He's out there and he's run the 100, I think, Jay. So go support your Trojans at the women and the basketball, and go watch the track on Saturday. Maybe a double header if you time it just right. And that's it, really. We are gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody calling. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Comment section has been on fire. Really appreciate everybody. If I could, Kobe, we love you. We gotta get rid of your whole thing. Get rid of Kobe here. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys are supporting getting out to the House of Victory. You guys, we all talk about how we want the recruits. Get out there, support. They're taking donations. You guys make it happen. So the next future generation of Trojans, you have a part in it. Jay, again, I called you last minute. Literally, guys. I called him a couple hours before the show and said, hey, look, Matt's taking the night off. And he just jumped right in. Look forward to seeing you and Rusty tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you guys. Check out Jay's channel tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. We'll have a pretty lively show there. Also, I think my numbers are off, but, goddamn it, give him his trophy back. 4,900 and now 28. I haven't updated 28 days. Give Reggie his trophy back. Again, Jay, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Trojans, thank you for being here every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see everyone on Monday. We'll see everyone tomorrow on Jay's channel. Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on.